He's part of the Pack podcast, star-studded cast performing short comedy plays just for laughs. Please welcome our friend Blair Underwood. Blair, good morning. How are you, pal?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Good morning. I'm a little crestfallen because I was hoping to play. I don't want to hurt Art Moore's feelings. I was hoping to play Carol Baskin at the Halloween show. So that, and I think
No,
Gelman should play the
but
shirtless husband.
no, but
I agree.
Blair, um, Carol Baskin has already been cast. But if you would like to toss your hat into the ring to play my husband, I can scoot you right up to the front of the line.
We're going to stack the deck on the votes fast.
Okay, everyone. Blair Underwood has just tossed his hat into the ring, so
Right.
I know who I'm voting for.
Landslide.
I'm there.
So
So,
tell us,
Blair-
how are you doing right now? Thank you for waking up with us, by the way. I know it's like an early call for you.
Listen, it's so interesting. I've done a lot of Zoom calls in the last couple of weeks. Never live television, just rolling out of bed and live television. By the way, I have my scrubs on and my slippers. I don't know if you can see my slippers. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I love it. That's great.
No, but I tell you, listen, in all seriousness, it's been tough. I think I felt every emotion known to man in the last week, especially last couple months. Sometimes at the same time, simultaneously. But I also find there's been anger, there's frustration, but I also find a lot of hope right now. And I find hope because I see people reaching out and trying to see how other people feel. I see, frankly, white people looking at a black perspective and brown perspective and vice versa. It's an amazing thing. You know, my kids, Kelly, we have kids around the same ages, 18, 21, and 23. And what's been happening with them, you know, we have our family dinners every 2 nights. We started during the quarantine every night, and then they said, okay, Dad, maybe every other night. But, you know, we have a conversation the other night, and they said, you know, a lot of our friends, our white friends, are reaching out to us because they want to understand what this perspective is as a African American, as a black person in this America. What's your reality like? And, you know, my youngest son was like, it's kind of overwhelming. So I never had to just kind of just distill it down to that because, you know, we're friends, you know, for a lot of different reasons, a myriad of reasons. But I said, listen, take this time now because your friends are reaching out to you because they want to get it right. They want to understand because for some reason, I want to post something, I want to speak out, I want to go to a demonstration. What do I say? And they're trying to get it right. So don't shut it down. Just be open to that. And so I feel hopeful now because I see, number one, the multicultural solidarity in this moment of just, you know, what is obviously, we're talking about the video right now, just unjust. But the video is just a very small tip of the iceberg of the justice system and the relationship the justice system has with people of color and people who look like me. I've had issues myself. We talked about that years ago. You know, some horrific things with corrupt cops. And I come from a family of cops. My grandfather was a police officer. My uncle, I have a cousin, who's a detective. So I see both sides of it. But what we need to do is kind of get through this moment and use this moment to really understand what people are saying. And, you know, I was thinking, Kelly, if you and I are having an argument, I can't imagine having an argument with you. But if we were having an argument, some kind of disagreement, and you said, "Listen, Blair, what you said, I feel disrespected. It bothers me." Now I have 2 choices to make. I can say, "Well, you know what? You're complaining. I don't see it. I don't understand what you're saying," or I can put myself in your shoes and take a more empathetic route and listen to what you're saying, and go from there. And I think now, as a country, we're listening to each other in this moment. And we hope this moment moves from demonstrations and protesting to having further conversation and some kind of legislation. But it all starts with an awareness. We have to be aware that my life as a man is different than your life as a woman, and as Kelly and Ryan as a man who's brunette and handsome with 500 jobs. That your life is very different. And it's okay for that. I mean, I really think we got to get past. You know, as an actor, we talk about. I know you're an actor, of course, and actors in your family, Kelly. But as an actor, they would talk about colorblind casting. I never liked that term. I don't want you to be colorblind. I want you to see my differences. I want you to see my race. I want you to see my culture, because those differences, that's something we should celebrate and not condemn. So I think it's a critical moment right now. It's a beautiful thing.
We just had this discussion. Everything you just said, we had this discussion the other day on the air about putting ourselves into other people's shoes, and everybody needs to put themselves into an experience maybe that makes them uncomfortable or they haven't had. Otherwise, how do you learn if you don't open up your heart and your mind? How do you learn? And Van Jones had a very interesting discussion on CNN the other night where he said this very thing, where he said, you can't, when people say, I don't see color, that's just not true. And you, then that means that you're closed off to listening and to actually hearing a perspective from another person from a different race. And so you should never say I don't see color, because of course we do. Of course we
and we
all
should.
do.
That's okay.
We
and
should, right?
Celebrate that.
Yeah.
I call this moment the Rona reset. The Rona reset, because I was talking to my kids the other day about this too. I said, we so much, I would love to be in the studio with you guys right now. We so much, because we have not been able to interact with each other. There's a yearning to just see each other face to face. So when we come out of this, because of what's going on with the corona, what's going on with the civil unrest, we have an appreciation for seeing each other. But because of the civil unrest and because of this moment, how we see each other is going to be so different when we come out on the other side of this. So I see a quickening in the universe, if you will. I see a change in there.
Blair, Kelly, I was talking to a mother, I think yesterday, and she was talking about the individuals, the demonstrators, the protests, and she even took the conversation further into the businesses around the country. They've got to really take a stand too. Big corporations, big companies, they need to be a part of this too in affecting real change, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I read a quote the other day that I love. Benjamin Franklin said it, and people keep asking, what can we do? What can we do after this moment, next week, next month, next year? And it starts with this moment because of what Benjamin Franklin said. And it's very simply, justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are. And that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing right now. So if this is not just a fad, if people who kind of are stepping into this breach for the first time, if we continue that walk and that march together, then we'll start, to your point, Ryan, corporations, businesses, individually, collectively, that's how we move forward as a country.
Yeah.
That is it's a great quote. Let's get a quick break. We'll come back and talk about this podcast that will make you laugh with Blair Underwood this morning, right after this.